Hi, it's Kendall here. New around here, welcome. Not new around here, what is up, home skillet biscuit? And today we are finally given the opportunity to make the polygamist video. If you're a little bit confused and is like, oh, Kendall, I didn't know you were married the first time, let alone several. It's not about me. It's about the South African soap opera that came out on Netflix a month or two ago that completely rocked my life and then resulted in me being too hot for AI. And so my first video got taken down. I think I should explain that joke if you're unfamiliar. Basically, I did a part 1 of The Polygamist, episodes 1 through 11, planning to make another video, part 2, which would be 12 through 22, only for my first video to be taken down and for me, my channel, to be given a channel strike for pornography. The example they used was, again, my face. Now, as frustrating and disgusting and concerning as that is, I made plenty of jokes about being too hot for AI, and I want to make it hard for me every single time. Hence, you see the glow? It's a new foundation. I have since been told that no, it was not because of how sexy I am on purpose. It's because of me having a sponsor that sells adult toys and me sharing the external link to it. Which if you've ever seen anyone else's video, you may be saying, huh? Since when is that a thing? I too had that question, and so too did my sponsor. So we're all very confused. And I'll leave it at that. But it did present quite an interesting situation for me, an opportunity for me. Because again, originally the plan was to present this in a 2-part video. But no, I've been given the opportunity to combine both videos and make one giant, undoubtedly emotionally taxing video about the entirety, the swath, the 1 through 22 of The Polygamist, because I can upload the first video without the ad in this video. If you don't know what The Polygamist is, I will do a little quick intro here, but it is an incredibly messy South African drama on Netflix called The Polygamist. It is a lot. The first video was nearly an hour, so I'm sure this video will be probably close to. So for those of you that like to watch me while you're going to bed, I don't know if this is going to be a good one. I'm going to be yelling, most likely. But if you want me on while you're cooking, while you're cleaning, or if you're just nosy, girl, we're going to have a lot to talk about today. So long video lovers unite. You about to get that tonight. Okay, so we'll get into part 1, but that'll be after a word from our sponsor, our ad-friendly advertisement. What fucked. Dude. Anyway, sending it over to Adroll Kennie. Thank you.
Hello there, it's Adroll Kennie, and today's video is sponsored by Factor. As you may be able to hear right off camera, I'm still moving into my home even several months later. We're currently getting more construction. And with that said, the last thing I want to do when pieces of wood are all over the place is to also cook and have to clean dishes too. And Factor takes one less meal out of the kitchen. Factor makes dietitian approved, balanced meals delivered straight to your doorstep, made with real ingredients, lean proteins, healthy fats, vegetables, fiber, everything you need to be a fully functioning, well-rounded, and fed human being. And they also taste great. They're ready in 2 minutes. Just pop them into the microwave with a few slits in the top. Usually you have a delicious meal to stuff in your face. Me and my boyfriend had a steak lunch the other day. Both of us had different steaks. They were both like filet mignon with truffle something, butter, truffle sauce or whatever. But mine had tortellini, and that bust. That might be my new favorite. I was saying for a long time the shrimp scampi pasta was my favorite. I think this might be the new favorite. I don't know. It had like portobello mushrooms too. I just threw away the carton when I was done. There's no cleanup. There's no pans to clean. It was nice. I just ate my meal and I took a nap. They have so many different recipes, so you're sure to find something you enjoy. And Factor is designed to help you with whatever your nutritional goals are, whether it be get more protein, more fiber, more veggies, to eat at all, because it's really easy to skip meals when you're busy. So if you would like to check out Factor, go to factor75.com or click on the link down below and use code KennieFB50 for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for a year. New subscribers only, varies by plan. 1 free breakfast item per box for 1 year while subscription active. Big thanks again to Factor for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get on to the debauchery, baby.
If you haven't heard of The Polygamist, it is a 22-episode South African series on Netflix about an affluent married couple who don't have as idyllic of a relationship as they would like to let the public believe they have. To only find out that the words perfect marriage are a horrible understatement. This is some mess, and I love mess. And even I said, whoa, this is getting a bit crazy here. Like, it's getting what now? Like I said, I've been watching a lot of messy shit. Started watching the messiest shit that came out in the last 20 years, Game of Thrones. I done avoided it for 15 years, but damn it, I'm on season 2. I didn't want to watch it because I heard how good it was at first, and then it just fell apart. So why even break my own heart like that? But here I am, watching mess with dragons. I'm reading Atonement, which was one of my favorite movies growing up because I liked mess then as well. The book is even more infuriating than the movie somehow, if that's at all possible. Maybe I'll do a video on Atonement. I love that movie. Ooh, it make you mad. But it's mess and war. I'm starting to think that that book is like a test to see your capacity for compassion, and I'm failing. Like, damn, I'm getting like a D-. It's literally a movie like, could you forgive a 13-year-old that did something terrible? My flaw that I need to work through on therapy is that at every age, Bryony can scrape her knee. And I understand that's not rational. I understand it don't make sense. It's not compassionate. Again, I'm working on it. I'm not perfect. Bryony. Anyway, I say all that to say, I'm obviously in the mood for mess, and when I was made aware that South African mess is at my beck and call, I was very excited about it. I've long wanted to talk about like a Nigerian movie on the channel, but they tend to be way too long, and I'm not about to sit there for 6 hours talking about one movie. So the fact that The Polygamist, though not Nigerian, but definitely similarly African soap opera-esque, it works that it's a 22-episode series so that I can talk about it in 1 or 2 videos and we can get everything out of the way. You hear me? I've watched a lot of low-budget movies, again, often out of Nigeria, not South Africa, but this has a similar, like, insaneness about it, but with a way higher budget, and the actors are actually acting down. The nigga that played Jonasi really gonna need security because I want to be his ass in real life. He played that shit real good. They got good sets, good costumes, good lighting, galore. It's winding and sprawling with twists and turns that I never would have saw coming. I rarely am surprised with shows like this, but they really did pull every rabbit out of the hat for this one. The show opens on the happiest day of everyone's life, the death of Jonasi Gomorrah, his funeral. We see a woman dressed in white coming to the deceased's coffin, saying quietly that things could have been different, but you had to fuck with me, you bitch ass motherfucker. So we rewind 5 years earlier to figure out, what did this nigga do to make her that mad? The woman we met is Joyce Gomorrah, wife of Jonasi, an influencer by trade. She has a deal with a body care / spa brand. Apparently it's quite a large deal, several figure deal. And part of that is her posting with her husband using their happy marriage as kind of a foundation for selling product, selling a dream, you know? The brand seems to have a big investment, or I should say stake, in the fantasy of the idyllic couple, families. But little do they know, Joyce and Jonasi, unbeknownst to the public, is not together and haven't been for over a year. Jonasi was actually living with his mistress, a woman named Matipa with a fat ass. Body's tea. Like, I don't condone cheating, but if you're gonna do it, well, actually everybody got a fat ass. If your body's tea in the body tea show, like everybody body tea, oof. I got training tomorrow. I'm gonna whip this video out, baby. Gotta do squats. Working on my fitness. He's my witness. Okay. But as you can imagine, Joyce can't let this man's cheating ruin a bag. So she lies to her sponsors, saying that the rumors of their separation are just that, rumors. They are in love and that they're actually going to be celebrating their 20th anniversary very soon. So Joyce goes to the home that Joe is sharing with Matipa. They've even moved out, where again, she is inviting, but more so threatening him to come to the 20th anniversary party because you shall not mess up my bag because you're a cheating asshole. But Jonasi, as we will learn, is a prideful, narcissistic, misogynistic piece of shit who is now with a very cunning and conniving woman. It's a soap opera. You can't expect for subtlety. So Joyce is met with nothing but divorce papers. Joyce and Jonasi have 3 children, 2 young adults. Menzi, who is the eldest boy, who is around 20, 21. Mafume, I'm so sorry, who is the eldest daughter, who is 19, and they have a baby, like a toddler that's like 1 or 2 years old. We don't really need to know about that other than they just had a baby, okay? They had just had a baby when all this shit popped off. Now, Menzie is a shy, rather reserved dude at the beginning of the show, but the entire show seems to be the men around Menzie basically trying to force feed being a man, whatever the fuck that means, onto him. What that means to them is largely being misogynistic and pushy, making money. Yeah. He has a crush on his little sister Mapume's friend Lindani. They're both like seniors in high school, but he doesn't seem to have it in him to really do anything about it, to confess to her. So he just kind of looks at her longingly from afar. But like I said, all the men around him are weird and like weirdly invested in him showing this like toxic masculinity, to the extent that his cousin Freedom would give him drugs to give him some courage to beat up some dudes that were pushing up on Lindani at a club, making her thank him for being her Superman, but ultimately doesn't progress beyond that. So it's pretty clear to me that Menzie's whole story arc is going to be him becoming a man, and that becoming a man doesn't seem to be a good thing. Whatever that means again. Joyce hears that Jonasi is trying to leave town during the time that she would be having the 20th anniversary party. And so she pays him a visit to his home, where he's too busy fucking Matipa in the bathtub. While there, Joyce sees that he has either recreated or painted over a wedding portrait that him and Joyce had done for their own marriage and replaced it with Matipa. And so she finds their plane tickets and passports and decides to light them on fire, only to accidentally light up the whole house, nearly burning Matipa and Jonasi alive. That's only the first episode, by the way. Rewind a bit and we learn more about the mistress, Matipa. Mainly that prior to fucking Jonasi, she was actually fucking his brother, Makesh, or Kesh, who also works at the same company that Jonasi works at. The company is actually called J&J for Joyce and Jonasi. It is a family company, but that's where they're working. Even while she was with him, she was literally plotting on using married men to rise to the top. Kesh is a married man. He's married to a woman named Essie, and he has a daughter named Sarah. But after being able to get an interview via her relationship to Kesh, Matipa decides to set her sights on Jonasi. She's willing and ready to seduce her way to the top. So she barges her way into his office wearing a burgundy leather skirt, and it's very cute. And again, she has a fat ass. Many assets for evil. So she's already setting her sights while she's with his brother. It don't take a whole lot. They end up fucking pretty quickly. At the beginning of their affair, Joyce had just given birth again to the third child, that little baby, and things had been going great for them seemingly for almost 20 years. They had built this company together. They had been very successful, happy, but it would seem that something happened at some point, like a long laid dormant evil, a sex pest devil that was resting inside him came out after like 19 years of marriage. Like I'm joking, but not really. Something's wrong with this man. You are gonna see some debaucherous, but I'd say I use that word in reference to SpongeBob as a ha ha he he, but actually this man is gross. He has a problem. But yeah, he started fucking her in his office, on the desk, family photo in there and everything. He don't give a fuck about his family. He sure as hell don't give a fuck that she dating his brother either. He even tells her, dump his ass, which she does as soon as she gets a job at the company. Joyce would find out about the affair pretty much immediately. She would find, I think, some makeup on his collar. And her mama, who don't make no sense, by the way, she all over the place. That's why I don't listen to shit she say. One second, she like, oh, well, the reason he cheated on you is because you just had a baby and you walking around with bonnets. You know you need to give him some coochie. Bitch, what? And then if she want to be back with her husband, she was like, he treated you so wrong. Why you gonna take that nigga back? Pick a side, ho. But for the time being, she was like, you don't do anything to make him feel at home. What is going on? She's like, you need to fight for your man. And so Joyce takes that quite literally because she runs into Matipa at a spa and decides to beat her ass. It was very much so on site. Now, my thing is, as we will notice, Joyce is very image conscious. So I find it very interesting that she would beat her ass in such a public space. I'm not judging. I do get it. Like I've always said, I don't believe in fighting over a man, but this bitch is disrespectful. And there is a difference. I do understand beating a bitch ass because you disrespectful. Matipa is one of the worst type of side bitches because she like really believes that she's in the right. And like, how dare you have a problem with her fucking your man? They brawling in the spa, wigs falling off. Surprisingly, nobody brought a phone out. Girl, you lucky. So this stays relatively low Joyce does everything to try to make him stay. At first, she's begging him. Then she's saying, oh, you can go, but here, take care of your own child, egad. But Matipa uses this as an opportunity when she forces him to take care of his own children, that perhaps this is a sign we should get a bigger home for the children so that they can have their own space when they visit. So now, Jonasi is buying a home for her, staying with her. Matipa's saying that she's tired of the back and forth with Joyce. She wants him all to herself. So that's how we get to the place where he's sending her divorce papers, which leads us to her going over there, leads her burning their passports and tickets, and leads to her ultimately getting arrested for arson. Which is crazy because they didn't die. Relax. Joyce spends the night in jail and ends up being chatted at by a woman who was in there because she got in a scuffle with her own man, ended up keying his car for cheating on her and giving her HIV. This is right before the anniversary party, mind you. And Joyce is kind of annoyed because she gets bailed out and they use her full name, and this woman recognizes that name. She was like, oh, you're the influencer girl. I thought I recognized you from somewhere. This is also the day before, I think, the party. So she done beat a girl's ass. She's in jail. She lit something on fire right before this damn party. And now it's like annoying because all of her dirty laundry really is about to be out there. Meanwhile, Essie, again, Gesh's wife and Joyce's sister-in-law, is weirdly excited to head over to the party knowing that Jonasi isn't going to be there. Essie obviously has some like insidious hater ass spirit towards Joyce, jealousy that Joyce has a more lavish life than she has with Gesh. It seems that she has a pattern of having this like happiness and excitement around some form of public embarrassment coming to light for Joyce. And to be honest, when she finds out all this drama going on, she just wants to hear about it. She loves seeing Joyce in particular in a bad light. So I'm like, damn, where is all this hateration and the holleration and the dancery coming from? Anyway, after she is let out of jail, Jonasi basically tells her that they need to come up with a joint statement to announce their divorce. But she says that she will only agree to do it until after the party. You're not gonna fuck up my back. Matipa has the nerve to come to the party, all out of dress code, body still tea though. And Jonasi comes late and puts on a show for the people because he finds out that one of the ministers that gives the most money to the company, the J&J company is like a big construction company. So one of the people that gives them a lot of money has found out about his affair. And they're like, part of the reason we gave y'all money is because y'all support traditional values, real like Christian shit, because they're ministers. So they're like, we thought that y'all were, you know, doing something good, you know, godly, whatever, Christ. But what's this we hear about you being a hoe? And so instead, to keep the money that they invest in the company, they decide to feign happiness and the perfect marriage right in front of Matipa. And she got the nerve to be mad about it. Girl, you signed yourself up for the oopty-doop, for the oopy-doopy-whoopy-doop. You became a mistress, bitch. And she don't like being a mistress. She don't like being a secret. But how you gonna sign up for being mistress and then be mad when you gotta do it? But yeah, the ministers are like, we believe in y'all as a couple. And so Jonasi's like, I'm gonna give them a show. We gonna renew our vows. We gonna lock in. Now, it would seem that during this event, Jonasi has some moments where he's starting to realize, or remember, I should say, his original affections for his wife. Remembers that she opened doors to make him the very rich man that he is today. She's the one that comes for money. But this nigga is phony and fickle as a fucking Republican, so it doesn't really matter. They dance in front of the crowd, again, putting on a good show, during which they have this like whispered tension where she's just like, what was it that made you fall out of love with me? Which he doesn't answer, just insists that she needs to sign those divorce papers soon. Matipa, upset that as a mistress, she was held as a secret for the anniversary party, feels like she'd been made a fool of, even though she came there specifically to embarrass Joyce. Which again, what we mad at Joyce for? Because she married the nigga 20 years ago? How old are you? Did you even exist? How old are you? 28? You mad that she married him when you were 8 years old, you weird bitch? Weird. Anyway, thing is with Matipa is that she doesn't understand. She is not meant to be a person. He really don't feel like dealing with her as someone with wants and needs and desires. You are strictly there to shut up and give me pussy. And she don't seem to understand that. So he don't really want to be around her when she got like standards or demands and shit. Like, I don't want to hear all that. So instead, he takes his wife home after the party and she signs the papers. She's like, okay, here, you want the divorce so bad, here's the papers. Immediately after she signs them papers, he's like, I miss you. I want to come home. Nigga, what? I guess the idea is like, oh, my side bitch started requesting respect and consideration, and it's too much stress. I ain't, let me go back to my wife. And so just like that, he's back with his wife, like nothing happened. And for the most part, in the house, everyone kind of just decides to act like nothing happened, except for the daughter, Mapume, I'm so sorry, who is the only person saying like, my mother deserves better. You haven't been a father for the last year. You ain't been shit. You was with your other bitch. So like, go with your other bitch then. And Joyce, she seems to want to believe in the fantasy, but like, how do you just ignore the last year of him treating you like shit? He just wakes up one day. You don't know what caused your relationship to fall apart in the first place, so how can you feel secure now that he's back? And of course, his random return doesn't make him a man having a change of heart. He is just as selfish as he was the day he left. But you know, he's in the house, he's sleeping in the bed, he's making jokes about the fire that happened the day before yesterday. Too soon, my nigga. Too soon. And now, he don't want to talk to Matipa. Matipa's like, where was he last night? Girl, please. He don't care about his wife, his children, nothing. He don't care about nothing but himself, bitch. Don't even waste your time asking where he was, because he wasn't with you. He probably wasn't with her either. He could be anywhere. Papa was a rolling stone. Joyce makes the mistake of confiding in Essie, the secret hater, that Jonasi is back in the house. And as you know, Essie is with Gesh, who is fucking Matipa, or was fucking Matipa. And seemingly Joyce is also aware that Gesh has rumors about him that he is unfaithful to Essie. Essie seems to have heard these rumors as well. So she's like, what do you do? Like, what can you do to just like keep going in a relationship like this? Ugh. And Essie hit her with some real pick-me shit. She's very much so like, I'm not unrealistic. I understand what the relationship is. I cook for him and give him peace and give him pussy, and I don't ask too many questions and I let him cheat in peace. Stop deluding yourself into thinking that all men aren't like this. So Joyce decides to try to suck it up and act like he hasn't been terrible to her for the last year or so. But Matipa is not having that. So she shows up uninvited to speak with him at the house while they try to have a Sunday, please forget I left you guys for a year and have been cheating on my wife subsequently for that time barbecue. Only for her to get kicked out and have Mapume. She's like, girl, do better. You're embarrassing. Aren't you embarrassed? You should feel embarrassed. And she's like, you stay in a child's place. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But before you know it, Matipa's going about saying like, oh, well, Jonasi's been calling me last night saying that he missed me. And next thing you know, she grabbing his dick at a construction site. And Joyce is like to Jonasi, you need to fire her. Y'all work together and she's going to constantly try to get you in her clutches again. How am I supposed to just like go about life and you guys work together and y'all had an affair for a year? And I'm like, girl, that's how they got to try, guys. You gonna have a lawsuit on your hands if they legal if they legal system anything like ours, girl, you fuck. And it does seem it is, because she was trying to sue them for like $3.5 million while Jonasi and Joyce were off on an island somewhere in love again. But nothing comes of that lawsuit, if I remember correctly. There's so much that goes on in the show. Pardon if I lost track of what happened to the lawsuit. But just know, eventually she's like, fuck Jonasi, I'm gonna find a new rich man. So Joyce and Jonasi are in love. They're trying to forget the betrayals, but the memories and the post-traumatic stress of it keeps hitting Joyce. And despite how awful and insecure their relationship has been, this is when, as always, Jonasi, a fuck nigga, will say, how about we have another baby? Nigga, you got a hot out the oven one right there. Still smells like umbilical fluid. Also, we barely see that baby. Who's taking care of that damn baby? I don't even really see a nanny like that. And Joyce is like, have you lost your mind? Your kids miss you now. And again, his kids ain't fucking with him, particularly Mpume still ain't fucking with him because she's the only one that got sense. Meanwhile, Essie's daughter, who I don't think that we've mentioned until this point, her name is Sarah. And Sarah, kind of like her mother, seems to have a jealous streak towards the Gamora family, presumably because of their wealth. She's like asking for a new phone, and Essie is kind of like offended that she dare ask for one. But one of the things that's very frustrating is that she is close to her cousins. She just has to watch and live with how different their lives are in comparison to her cousins. So when Mpume's friend Lindani convinces Menzi and and Pume. Can I just call her Pume? Would y'all know who I'm talking? I'm sorry. Menzi and Pume to host a party while their parents are gone. She is quick to use that as an opportunity to steal Pume's phone while she's preoccupied. She got a little boyfriend in Pume and she trying to like be with him, but she don't want to fuck him yet. She's not ready. So she with her boyfriend and she's like, let me steal her phone real quick. Janasi and Joyce come home, break up the party, and the next day, and Pume is like, where my phone at? And realizes that it's been taken to Essie's house and thinks that someone there must have stolen it. She assumes, though, that it's Freedom, who is the older son that Essie has, the one that's always trying to turn Menzi into a real man, who is known for drinking and being a troublemaker. But Sarah is really offended that they would even consider somebody over here, even though there's a reason they chose y'all, because it was on Find My Phone, and also you did steal it. But, and Puma is like, whatever. I don't have to worry about this. I have money. So at this point, Joyce and Jonasi are trying to make their marriage work. Matipa has decided to move on and start fucking a different rich man just to find a new rich man and to get back at Jonasi a little bit. Incidentally, the man she ends up fucking with, I do believe, is the minister super focused on family that was giving money to the construction company. Jonasi finds out about this while he's out having dinner with Joyce and sees Matipa and the minister out together. And he can't help but have a problem with his property moving on without him. So he goes, when everyone's gone, backs her into the corner, like, you will not insult me. This is his whole thing, Jonasi. Always having to dick swing for fear that someone is one-upping him. And then he often uses intimidation, at points violence, sex, sexual violence to intimidate those around him. And he'll rough up anybody. He's truly a garbage human being. He actually takes this aggression, brings it home to Menzi, basically saying because he's not man enough, he allowed girls to turn the home into a madhouse. He roughens him up, like he abuses this boy. He like chokes him up because all of a sudden he want to be a father now and want to like lay down the law and you want people to respect you and shit. And like, nigga, where you been for the last year? All because he can't stand the fact that he is the reason his children don't respect him. Maybe it's because you're not respectable, you cue ball headed bitch. So, now, I give a lot of grace to Joyce because she is obviously in a very awful, manipulative piece of shit relationship. I understand that. But seeing him rough up your child don't make you want to light him on fire, but him leaving you for another woman does. Joyce is not a perfect character. She's incredibly self-centered, either by circumstance, because she, like fight or flight survival, she can do nothing but focus on herself. Like Jonasi is constantly hitting her with bullshit, so she's constantly on the defense. Or it is a character flaw. Like she's self-centered. She cares more about herself or her disrespect than the way that he treats her children. But the fact that she doesn't stab him right there, the fact that we make it to 22 episodes without this man getting stabbed, all right, is truly perplexing to me. And he ain't even done the worst of it yet. He ain't done nowhere near the worst of it yet. So she don't really concern herself with that, Joyce. She, if anything, she focuses more on work. So that spa sponsorship, the body care brand that she's working with, seems to be pretty locked in now that Joyce and Jonasi seem to be back together. And for all intents and purposes, their relationship is happy. Shit, he even comes on set for that sponsorship and they do a little like, what's your secret to a long and happy marriage interview, which is all full of bullshit. And they have it down pat. Both of them saying something about like, you know, you gotta love them through the angels and the demons. Speaking of bad omens, whenever things could be bad, they could get worse, and there could be a pregnancy involved. And it would seem that Joyce is a bit concerned that she may be pregnant. She's feeling a bit nauseous, and I'm like, oh God, is she gonna be pregnant? But the thing is, this show loves to give a whoop-de-doo. You'll never see shit coming. But she's getting nauseous, and she doesn't know why, and she's afraid to take a test, because the last time she had a baby, that's when the devil came out of her husband, and she's just been dealing with the alien versus predator aftermath. But luckily, she finds out that she is not pregnant. And she's like, you know what? I'll never be pregnant again. I'm getting my tubes tied. Which honestly, my thing is like, getting your tubes tied but staying in the marriage is truly a fallacy of control that is concerning. Like, you think not having another baby is going to stop him from cheating on you again? Girl, what? But eventually she does feel quite guilty for considering doing such a serious surgery behind her husband's back, especially when they seem to be in such a good place in their marriage. While this is all happening, Janasi is still harassing Menzie, basically saying he should be embarrassed that his older sister is off to university and he's still taking his gap year or years. It's time for you to be a man. Come work at J&J, and you need to start making some money and making some responsibility, making moves. Menzie starts to feel more confident, more manly now that he's, he's wearing the suit and he's doing what men do and whatever the fuck that means. And Freedom, who I also believe starts working at the company, gives terrible fucking advice that he should use this confidence to try to claim Lindani by forcing her into a kiss, which she outright rejects him for and is like, you have a fucking problem, don't touch me. And I'm like, ugh. Everybody leave Menzie alone, okay? Stop trying to morph him into this super misogynist. First of all, he has Jondasi as a father. He's not working with, an even playing field. He's working against the odds. Please don't make it harder for this man to choose to be a decent person. Please stop. Leave him alone. God. Stop teaching men that the only way that they can be men is to be terrible. Like, God. Feeling guilty about doing a serious procedure like this behind her husband's back, Joyce decides that she is not going to do the surgery to tie her tubes. But just as she decides that she's not going to do this, she finds out that her husband is actually at the same hospital that she was going to get her tubes tied at. She was concerned that he had found out and he was coming to confront her, but oh, no. As she learns from the doctor who doesn't seem to... What are the HIPAA laws in South Africa? Because he was very quick to be like, oh, wow, there's so many Gamoras in here. Somebody in the delivery ward right now. Joyce pushes past, runs down the hallway to find that Jonasi is in a room holding his new baby with Matipa. And she is holding the other baby. This nigga had twins on her. That's when I knew I was watching something different. I saw the one baby and I was like, oh, he had a baby on her. I thought y'all were, oh, 2 babies? This is insane. So Joyce passes out, and I understand why she did, because damn. As you can imagine, Joyce and Jonasi are back fighting in the house. Damn, things were so good. But who could have seen that coming but everyone that saw that coming? Well, in fairness, not me. It wouldn't have got this far because I said stab him. But like, when he put his hand on Menzie, I think you should have stabbed him. But I digress. We got more show. She's like, when did this happen? I thought we were renewing our vows and we were good. When did you turn around and sneak between her ass cheeks again? And he gives a false account that led to everything between him and Matipa reuniting their affair. Essentially, he says that she took advantage of him when he was vulnerable, but actually he came to her house to argue about her being with the minister, and they ended up having angry sex. Then they kept having sex. Is his shit twisted? Like, what type of dick he got that y'all acting like this? Is it swirly? Is it like a duck? He got horse? He knots? What the fuck? I'm trying to understand what the problem is. But he lies and says that he also begged Matipa to terminate the pregnancy, which he didn't do that either. He was actually very excited about it. And Joyce is crashing out because you cheated on me. You left me for this woman for a year. I thought we were back together, working things out. You've still been having sex with her. Now there are 2 children that I also have to consider. So it's pretty clear that at this point, she will never be rid of Matipa. She's like, maybe we should have custody of the children so that you don't have to interact with her just to take care of the kids. We can take custody. And he's like, she ain't gonna let us do that. And honestly, Joyce is losing her mind. She's like, what did I do so wrong to make you treat me like this? Why are you doing this? And she starts sobbing, pulling on his legs, begging for him to not leave, only for him to sneak past her and be like, stop all this yelling. We in the suburbs, like chill. Running from her down the driveway to go to the side bitch. This shit is embarrassing and debasing. Stand the fuck up. Stand up over a man that cheats on you and had 2 babies on you. Girl, if you don't kill him, sorry, my go-to. Bitch, if you don't kill him. Nah, with that said, I said he was going to a side bitch. That's technically not true. He actually isn't with Matipa either. He does go to work. And to be quite frankly, he not really trying to take care of them damn babies. He don't take care of his original babies, his OG model babies. He don't give a fuck about them babies. And while at work, he's talking with Gesh, and he's basically like, oh, Matipa gave birth, and Joyce now knows about the twins. And Gesh is like, hey man, she gotta be reaching her limit, man. You can't keep treating her like this, which is crazy for the cheating nigga. To add insult to injury after her going crazy like that, he's like, that bitch not going nowhere. I think I said this in one of the reality dating show reviews, but there is something crazy. It's one thing to cheat. It's another thing to cheat and then say with full breath, like full assuredness, that bitch ain't gonna do nothing. That would make me castrate you and feed it to you by force. Nigga, if somebody did that, I would have to castrate them and put a ball in each hole so that no air can be released, nigga. I'd have to spit roast you like a pig. Ain't no way in hell. So while he's over there yucking with his brother about how she ain't gonna do shit, she doing that cry laughing that I'm doing right now, where it's like, you should be a little concerned. Like she having a breakdown. She laughing, she crying. She goes to get a gun. Exactly. This is what I've been thinking from the jump. This man is incredibly shootable. She goes to one of her deceased father's contacts, I guess, when he was also doing, you know, business shit. You know, you gotta have your shooters pow pow, I guess. I don't know nothing. Why am I saying that like I know? She go get a gun. Meanwhile, Janasi finally goes to see the twins. Psych. He there to ask for some pussy. He's really, one thing this nigga gonna do is disappear, come back, and beg for pussy. He just leave, come back, cause mayhem, and beg for pussy. And so she's like, nigga, no. I just had a baby. I just had a C-section. And I've been over here taking care of these kids by myself with my mama. No. And he's like, okay, well, you can't fuck. What can your mouth do? You can use your mouth, can you? You can use your mouth. Your mouth work, don't it? This is around when I was like, oh, this nigga has a problem. Like a diagnosable problem. Again, you need to be put down, something. Castrated, the spit roast thing, or castrated, put down, I don't know. They need to make a patch for it or something. Like, you're not a safe person to be free in society. You nasty and nefarious and dangerous. Like, honestly, something's wrong with you. Also, while he's like begging for head, this is also with her mama in eye shot, taking a nap in the living room, by the way. Again, that nigga has a problem. Menzi apologizes to Lindani for trying to kiss her, which she accepts. So good for them. But he does say, like, you know, it's because I like you a lot. I like really like you. I love you even. And she's like, I like you too, but you're my best friend's brother. Also, I have a boyfriend. So, like, chill. Let's put this to rest. Gun in hand, Joyce calls Janasi over while he is still with the twins post getting head. And she's like, hey, I've calmed down. Let's talk things over. And so much to Matipa's frustration, he goes back to his marital home to talk with Joyce. So she gets all the children out of the house, cancels interviews, and waits for him to come home. Waits behind their bedroom door where she points, ready to shoot him. But alas, we're only at episode 8, and there's 22 episodes left, so I know this nigga doesn't die. Instead, Joyce accidentally drops the gun as soon as he comes in, I guess out of nerves in the last minute, and Janasi wrestles the gun away from her, thinking that she had been driven to the edge to the extent that she was going to take her own life. He can't even fathom that the way that he had been treating her would result in her having murderous intent. He's like, that would never cross his mind at all. So instead, he just, baby, please don't kill yourself. Oh, you too sexy. No, don't kill yourself. You're so sexy. Don't kill yourself. I get pussy from you. No. He calms her down. He then goes to work the next day and tells Gesh that he had to get rid of the gun and that Joyce was trying to kill herself. Meanwhile, Joyce goes to Matipa and says, what is it gonna take for me to get rid of your ass? What do I gotta do to get you away from my husband? Do I have to give you some money? Do I have to recommend you a position down in Cape Town or somewhere? Anywhere you want to go, I can help you get a job. I can make sure that Janesi sends child support. And Matipa is like, do you think this is easy for me? I didn't set out to fall in love with a married man. Which is wild because that's exactly what you did, bitch. Which we saw you. Like, we, the audience, saw you. But she loved him. And honestly, which she is pretty right about this one. If you want us to be apart, tell your husband that. Do you really think that he would stay away from me? Because it seems that you don't think he would. You feel like I have to undo my clutches from him, but he the one that keep finding me. Which is why you gotta divorce him. Or for legal reasons, these are jokes. Niggas don't know how to take jokes no more. And thus, Joyce, feeling as though she's ran out of all options, I guess, other than divorce, she reached the solution for their situation, which is to take Matipa as a second wife. She's too deeply embedded in their lives. Might as well make it official. And Jonasi, who theoretically should be excited about getting what he wants, Matipa and Joyce, doesn't seem to be excited as you would think he would be, at least outwardly. But again, this man has a problem. So just getting the bitches ain't enough. He has to actively be ruining people's lives. And if people are consenting to being in a polyamorous or polygamous situation with him, what am I supposed to do with that? I can't do no evil with consent. Like, what? But for the time being, that is the state of affairs. But again, this seems to be the only way that Joyce feels like she has some sanity, some autonomy, and to just be able to accept the state of where they are. So Jonasi goes, tells Matipa that he wants to be engaged with her, and she's super excited until she realizes that the arrangement would be her being the second wife, that he will still be primarily residing at his home with Joyce. And she doesn't like this because she fears that she will be an afterthought, especially considering they have newborns. She wants him to divorce her, and she wants to be with him alone. But alas, he isn't going to do that. So she marries him anyway without her mother's blessing, because her mother is also incredibly disappointed that she is with a married man in the first place. And now she don't want to see her in a polygamous situation. She's like, this is all some bullshit. You are right, mom. And thus they are forced to introduce Matipa and the new twins to Menzi and Mapume. And of course, Mapume is the only person who has a reasonable reaction to this. And Jonasi is like, you have to respect me. Even though I'm a terrible person, I'm still your father. Like, nigga, fuck you. I didn't choose that. You didn't choose my specific sperm. You chose to be a bad father. Fuck off. And so, in distress, Mapume goes to her boyfriend, tries to lose her virginity while she is in a vulnerable headspace. But he's like, you seem to be obviously not in a good headspace. Let's not do that. And so she's just able to spend time with him, sob in his arm, because her home life is undoubtedly a fucking mess. So Joyce's campaign with the spa company goes live, and they actually have like a press conference, like a big welcoming party of some, announcing this new product, right? And Matipa, still jealous that Joyce existed and was married to this man 20 years before she was a thought, decides to leak that Jonasi has been with another woman and has fathered 2 new children. Forced to save face to the public, Joyce joyfully announces that they, yes, took in another wife, and that the newborns are a blessing that they are proud to introduce into their lives. But people online certainly have their reservations, their criticisms, their skepticisms, and they believe what is ultimately the true story, which is that he cheated on her and now they're trying to rebrand it. Joyce even has a few interviews afterwards in which she is asked about Matipa and her perfect polyamorous marriage. And it seems that Essie, as always, is super locked into the hate train coming to Joyce as if it's her fault that she got cheated on. Anyway, Matipa and Jonasi have been fighting because, again, she don't like being the second wife. But he always comes back, baby, baby, please, gives her some flowers and then asks for some pussy. But she don't want to hear all that. She wants to be legitimized. Not always have to be passed up for things that he has to do with Joyce, his first wife. And then he's like, all you do is bitch. You act like I treat you so badly. Like, I don't know why you feel so special because I'm treating you badly. I treat everybody badly. Get in line, ho. Next thing you know, Matipa is going to Joyce looking for Jonasi. Neither of them know where that nigga is. And twist that I did not see coming. While they're fighting each other about where their man is at, he is out fucking someone else. And who he's fucking is Essie. He over there fucking giving back shots to his brother's wife, Essie. He came over for a plate of food, and next thing you know, he's leaving with cakes. This man has a problem. He is fucking everybody. Is there no other dick in Africa? Again, all jokes aside, this nigga got a problem. He got a problem. Now, it's bad enough to believe that Jonasi is cheating with his brother's wife, but it's actually more confusing and convoluted than that. Because you see, what we find out is that Essie isn't Gesh's wife, and Sarah isn't Gesh's child. Essie is actually Jonasi's second wife that no one knew he had, and Sarah is his child, which explains why Essie always had this sour bitch attitude, and Sarah's always jealous of Mapume. Lord. So, how did we get here? Back when Janasi and Essie were children, they were friends and they lived in the same area. Essie used to protect him from bullies in the rough neighborhood they grew up in. They would grow up together, go to school together. She would cook for him. Even in high school, he was a womanizer, a girlizer. He was a two-timing hoe, but that didn't seem to stop Essie from falling in love with him and his potential. He would even stand up to her abusive boyfriend in front of the whole neighborhood when he had a Glock on him. She's like, whoa, I really like this guy. Janasi, who had a tumultuous relationship with his own father, which water's wet, nigga. Like, you don't act like this and you had like a good upbringing. You seem to have a weird thing with sex and masculinity and what being a man is. That screams daddy issues. You didn't shock me at all. And the fact that you feel like people should just deal with your shit and you don't have to go to therapy, girl, yes. Janasi, when he was a senior in high school, wasn't going to be supported by his father. So Essie would give him the money that she had. She had made some money by braiding hair, and he would promise her that he would go to college, make something amazing of himself, come back, buy her a Mercedes or a BMW, like a really nice car, and buy her a home, and they'll be together. So off he goes to college, and they would chat on the phone, and he would lie and say that he's only thinking about her and that he's not messing around with other girls, but he was. And then one day he just fell off the face of the earth. For 8 years, she doesn't hear shit from this dude, only to find out in a local newspaper that he had gotten married to a girl from a rich family. Joyce. At this point, Essie had already had a child with her abusive ex-boyfriend, Freedom, who was her firstborn. But despite being devastated, Essie has to just move on as if Janasi never existed. And just when you think you've done that, they pull you back in, baby! Janasi comes in, reappears with a red BMW that he promised, saying, look, I never forgot you. I want to do all the things that I told you before. And next thing you know, they're trying to live this fantasy. He proposes to Essie, saying that he will tell Joyce and she'll be okay with a second wife. She'd be cool with it. So they get married. He buys her a home, moves her out the hood, and spoiler, doesn't tell Joyce. Essie gets pregnant with Sarah, and while her and Janasi are out shopping for the baby, they run into Joyce, who is also pregnant with Mapume. On the fly, Janasi lies and says Essie is actually his brother Gesh's wife, and he's helping her shop while Gesh is too busy at work. He then goes to Gesh and asks for him to lie on his behalf, and they do that. Everybody does that. Gesh, Essie, Freedom, eventually Sarah, they all lie. Maintain this lie for 19 years while Joyce lives in the dark. That no, Essie isn't her sister-in-law. No, Sarah isn't her niece. That is his second wife and his child that he cannot claim publicly. It would seem that this lie is maintained mostly because rocking the boat with Joyce, especially while her father, I assume, was still alive, could ruin Janasi's career and his money prospects. So instead, they keep it all under wraps for the entirety of his marriage. And I guess slowly, as he got more wealthy and less concerned about what Joyce specifically can do for him, he says, fuck Joyce, I can blow this shit up all I want. What's she gonna do? She ain't gonna go nowhere. With that said, he did occasionally pop in to visit Essie and Sarah, usually to get food and to play father and get pussy and then give excuses and leave. But with the birth of the twins, Matipa's twins, and his public claiming of said kids, Sarah is becoming more and more adamant that she should be claimed publicly as well. And it's only a matter of time before all of these secrets come out. But before we can focus on the very real things that Janasi has done to ruin the lives of everyone around him, we have to focus on the thing that's most important to Janasi. His birthday is coming up, and he is the devil. So of course, a day devoted to when you were born gives him freedom to be even more self-involved and entitled than usual. And that truly is a feat. But interestingly enough, the day in which he assumes he will be the center of all of his 3 wives, he has 3 of them, wives' lives, he soon finds that all of that is kind of falling apart. Matipa wants to spend time with him at first, but birthdays are usually a Joyce thing, and it's usually something she really shows out for. But Joyce don't want to do shit for him, because he's an asshole, and he's done nothing but been an asshole. So she's like, oh, today's Thursday. So he doesn't get a party, so he goes to Matipa, and she's like, well, I already canceled the plans because you said you weren't coming, and now I got all these babies, and I'm going to force you to take care of your children. Oh, what type of injustice is this? Evil witch. So he goes to his last resort. And in many ways, that is Essie in every respect. And it's really fucked up. He goes to his last resort Essie, who, fun fact, has her own little young thing that she been fucking with, being that, you know, Janasi is consistently absent, but she doesn't want Janasi to know because he would be so upset if he found out that she had a little thing, because that's how misogyny works. Wild. Because again, he can fuck anything on two legs and breathes, but God forbid she have sex with someone else. Anyway, so he spends his day with his backup family, Essie and Sarah, and they are so grateful, honestly, to have him. They soak up his scraps and they're so excited to be with him on this day. But even still, he doesn't want Sarah taking pictures of the day, doesn't want her posting them online, because again, we don't want that to happen. Don't want people to maybe start putting things together. The only person that seems to have any problem with him just waltzing in here and demanding people celebrate him is Freedom, who is like, these niggas ain't never made me a cake. These niggas ain't never made me a little party. They ain't never did shit for me. You did nothing but hide a kid for 19 years. And now we supposed to be like, oh yay, thank you for coming to visit us, you punk bitch. Now Sarah, who is still very much so clamoring for her father's approval, is like, oh my God, why would you say that? And again, Janasi don't know how to take criticism as valid as it is, so he tries to like rough him up, tries to like put his head in the cake and shit, you know, again, real bitch. He's such a bitch. But instead they decompress and go out dancing, and the place they end up going to dance is the little bar grill that Lindani's mom owns and she works at. And I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna see him dancing with another woman. Is Mpume gonna find out about another fucking wife? Oh my God, Lord, how are we only halfway through the season? How has he not been shot yet? On the drive home, they should not have been driving. They were definitely drinking a lot. They pull over. Essie has to pee on the road, which Janasi, again, is a sick fuck. So this turns him on. And so he fucks her in the hood of their car. Ew. And when they get back, Sarah is making invitations to her coming of age ceremony, which I know nothing about. As I understand from context, what I can garner is that the event is traditionally a space where Sarah would have to disclose who her real father is. And they're like, no. Janasi's even like, worse, how dare you? How dare you want to tell everybody that I fathered you and you want me to claim you, you selfish bitch. You're trying to destroy everything I've built. Like, how can she be so fucking selfish? How can you do this on my birthday when everything is supposed to be like, you want to hold me accountable on my fucking birthday? What is your problem? And Essie has a bar. Essie is a villain, but she's also a victim. She has a bar where she's like, I know that when you see me, you see the path that you're so desperately trying to run from. But nigga, we came from the same place. So no matter how much you look down on me and Sarah, that is the truth. And he's like, fuck both of y'all. Everybody else is so naggy. Y'all doing all this shit talking about my birthday. Want to hold me accountable on my birthday?
That is the most inconsiderate thing you could do to a person on their birthday. I wasn't feeling that.
And the episode ends with Janasi alone, smushing a piece of chocolate cake with his bare hands and laughing, drunk and maniacal. For only now has he begun to reach his final form of evil incarnate. And that is but the first half of the 22 episodes of The Polygamist. A lot happened. We had everything. We had a mistress, 3 secret children, a secret wife, attempted murder, burning down a house, going to jail. And again, we still got another half a show. So now we're all up to date, okay? Now we got to go over episode 12 through 22, where things, again, confusingly, get more involved. You wouldn't have thought that, considering we've already had several hidden marriages, several lies and deceptions and reveals and hidden children. But alas, we still got 12 more episodes left. Let's go. Okay, Matipu comes over and invites the family to the twins' christening. Something that makes its way over to Essie and Sarah, of course, as the family's haters, but you get it now. And Sarah, who again has always been her father's dirty little secret, seems to be taking the public celebration of these children quite hard. Makes sense. She still holds her father in very high regard, which possibly is because she doesn't really know him. And so she has projected this idea of like this great man that she's never really known, and instead seems to hold a lot of the blame that she feels towards her mother, who has been there her entire life. Like occasionally she'll acknowledge that her father has done some terrible things, but she definitely seems to have a lot more heat for the present parent, which is unfortunate but very common. It's easier to love a person that you don't know. Whereas her mother mother has a lot of very obvious issues. You can see throughout she's a very heavy drinker and seems to have a lot of resentment and anger and frustration and envy. So there it goes. Meanwhile, Matipa finds out that the venue for the christening was double booked. And so Janasi, ever excited for a chance to be a menace, offers his home with Joyce as an alternative without telling Joyce. He tells Matipa he'll tell Joyce, but he doesn't do that. So now Matipa is under the impression that he had told her, thinking that this would be an opportunity to show some real solidarity now that they are officially a legally polygamous family. But Joyce just walks into her backyard and niggas throwing a party. And she's like, what the fuck is this? And so she's pissed, feeling that Matipa kind of encroached on their home now. The entire Essie side of the family comes to the event, and while they're trying to patch things up with Jonasi, but he doesn't want to talk about things in such a public manner where someone could see them arguing. Meanwhile, Pume, people told me to just say Pume. That's actually more accurate than trying to put the M in there. So Pume, is that better? She is chatting with Sarah and Lindani about how she's super excited to lose her virginity to her little boyfriend. Lindani, who has her own little boyfriend, is like, oh, you need to do this. You need to dress sexy. You need to get some panties. And she like brings out these beaded red crotchless panties. And I'm like, bitch, why are you just carrying that? And that's kind of what they say. Like, bitch, you just carrying your drawers in your purse with you? Just a baby shower? Not a baby shower, this is a christening. What the hell? Sarah says to Pume, what's the rush? You could wait until you got married. You can wait until go off to college. Like, what's the big rush? And Pume is like, well, my boyfriend is the love of my life. He's a very gentle guy. He's understanding. He would never cheat on me. He's nothing like my father. And Lindani's like, yeah, girl, yo daddy's something else. And then immediately goes to throw up. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's pregnant. But she's also been drinking like fistfuls of tequila, so let's hope it's just that. Because I'm so tired of people getting pregnant in this show. With that said, we found out that her and her boyfriend are going through something right now, which seems to sound like they've broken up, which is also how this works. That's when niggas find out they pregnant. So at the christening, they want to take pictures with the baby and the family. Pume reluctantly goes up because her father is a piece of shit and she don't want to be in this whole like, oh, we're such a happy family. She don't want to do all that. But Sarah also considers going up, but Jonasi is quick to shut that down. He's like, fuck? You trying to tell everybody I got another kid? The hell? Matipa and Joyce try to settle things, considering the twins are now a part of this family. And so this is the beginning of them having somewhat of a mutual understanding. For all intents and purposes, they seem to become cordial. And it is quite sudden, but it's like, well, what are we gonna do? You now officially a wife. What are we gonna do? We gonna keep fighting forever? She's like, you have these two kids. They're innocent. So, okay, fine. We all a family, whatever. We can be cordial. And just as they're figuring things out, here comes Essie, barging in for her seat at the table, asking Matipa, how does it feel to be wife number 2? Sarah decides to leave when they was taking the family pictures because she was like, I can't even look at this. You just doing a lot. Like, I can't be a part of the family. This hurts too bad. When Pume goes to look for her, she finds her sucking that gentle, nice boyfriend's dick in her bedroom. Girl, bitch, what you mad at me for? Mind you, Pume don't even know that's her sister right now. She don't know that. She has no clue where all this came from. Jealousy? Bitch, even if you jealous of me, did you have to fuck my nigga because my dad an asshole? Like, what the fuck? Like, even if she didn't know that's her sister, what you fucking my boyfriend for? Because your dad, my dad, our dad is an asshole. Like, what logic does that mean? I should beat your ass. Well, Freedom does. He comes to beat his ass. While Sarah is like, wiping her mouth and smirking like, yeah, I did. Like, bitch, no, she in a telenovela. Anyway, Gesh and Jonasi chat after the blow up at the party. And Gesh is like, I mean, she's acting out because she has been a secret her entire life. She's held your secret for her entire life. She is one of the many people you have sacrificed over the years. And Jonasi is like, well, you, Gesh, cleaning up my messes have made you a very rich man. You think you would have gotten a job without me? You ain't qualified. You should be grateful to clean my fucking messes, bitch. He not nice to nobody. I need to clarify that. In case you thought he had some alliances, no, he's an asshole to everybody. Essie and Sarah argue the whole way home. And it ends with Sarah accidentally pushing her down the stairs. And Sarah's unable to get in contact with anyone. So she calls Joyce, who is quick to come and visit them at the hospital, even though you just cheated with my daughter's boyfriend. And we all saw it. We all caught you. Even still, Joyce comes there to make sure everything's okay. Sarah's like, this is all your fault, Joyce. Like, if it weren't for you, we would have been a happy family. And I'm like, girl, you mad at all the wrong people, Jesus. But she's like, my mom was trying to protect you from the truth. And that's why we are here. And she's like, what truth? And so Sarah finally tells Joyce everything. Once Essie is out of the hospital, she comes over with crutches, yelling in Joyce's house about how now you see how we felt this entire time as a secret while you sit on your throne in your house. And I'm like, nigga, what? I've been getting emotionally abused for the last 20 years. Eat my ass. Y'all love talking to everybody but Jonasi. Him being unshot 13 episodes into this proves that y'all don't know how to prioritize. Speaking of which, now that the truth is out, Sarah foolishly thinks that this ultimately presents her with the opportunity to be close to her father, something she has always wanted. And so now she starts coming to J&J unannounced, looking for him. She wants to go on a father-daughter date. She's going to his receptionist and being like, yeah, I'm here to see my real dad, Jonasi.
I'm here to see my dad, my real dad, Jonas Komara. Is he in?
And the receptionist is like, but as you can imagine, he's a piece of shit. He don't want to be a father. He ain't never wanted to be a father for you. It's been like 18, 19 years. He ain't want to be your damn father. And he sure as hell don't want a relationship now. I will say though, interestingly enough, the reveal of Essie as the real second wife does seem to improve Joyce and Matipa's relationship. Kind of in this commiseration, we've all been treated like shit by the same ain't shit nigga. That's crazy. Granted, Matipa seems to be taking it harder though, because she's less accustomed to this. But Joyce has been through the ringer with this nigga for years at this point. She's like, yeah, why not? I'll be damned. I've been lied to for 20 years by everybody. That's crazy. She's like, let me do nothing but drink in this white jacket. I have nothing left to lose. Now, Hume, her now ex-boyfriend, comes to the house to apologize, but Minzy is there to fight him off, kick him off, and kick him out of the house. Something that Lindani finds super attractive. She's like, oh my God, yes, be a real man, yes. And she's like filming it. But Minzy is on the rampage as well for a while because again, Jonasi's decisions are impacting everyone. And so he ends up mad at Freedom for hiding the truth about Essie. But eventually he does reach the conclusion like Jonasi is the problem. All the issues have always been Jonasi. He's an asshole. Speaking of the devil, Jonasi gets to his office and sees Sarah there trying to have a family hangout. She's changing out his family photos so that he can like have her there as well. And he's trying to shoo her off. It's like pretty clear, saying he has meetings, he doesn't know how long it'll take, he doesn't want to keep her waiting, yada, yada, yada. And so eventually he ends up saying to her, let's schedule lunch. Put it on the calendar so he doesn't forget. And she's so excited, which sucks because I knew she wasn't, that nigga ain't going to no damn fucking lunch date. He don't care about nobody but himself. He is not going to that fucking lunch date. And she getting all excited. She's like, oh my God, I'm gonna hang out with my dad. He's my daddy daughter. Ah, I'm like, girl, no, you not. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, baby girl. Joyce and Matipa confront Jonasi. Well, Matipa's there, but it's mostly Joyce. She's like, damn, how many more wives you got? Children? How many more? Other surprises I need to look out for? And he apologizes half-heartedly, and she's like, nope, nope. I wash my hands of you. Joyce is now more concerned about her career. Women look up to her, say they changed their minds about their own polygamist situation. She feels like she is living a lie and that she cannot stop lying. She feels like she's lying to everyone around about the type of relationship that she actually has. And so she's also very distracted on set, eventually decides to just take a step away from social media, the limelight, without the brand's approval. And my thing is like, you gonna sue me? Because I wanna, sorry, that's dark. I was gonna say, but you gonna try to sue me if I kill myself, bitch? You gonna dig me up, ho? Like, I'm obviously having a bad time. If it's that bad, you don't want me on set, bitch. I will go post on this hoe. Like, fuck the money. I'm about to kill myself. Take the break, bitch. But I will say though, letting a man get you so fucked up that you can't make any money is something that I fundamentally disagree with. But as far as the brand, they can kiss my ass. Pume writes a letter for Janasi and tries to read it to him, hoping that he would actually hear how much he's affected his children. It's about her very real hurt and complicated feelings, and that nigga does not care. He does not give a fuck. He turns up the volume on the news behind her as she's crying and tries to say like, man, I really wish you cared about your family. And he's like, girl, put it down. I'll read it myself. I ain't ever read that shit. Probably threw it away. Speaking of disappointing his daughters, time comes for that lunch date, and Sarah's there, so excited. She's like, "Oh, I'm having a daddy-daughter date with my dad. I'm so excited. I was like, oh my god." She is left there waiting and waiting. Bitch done ordered. He still ain't come. She in tears, looking at the clock, looking at the door, like, is he coming? Is that bald nigga him? No. And I'm just sitting there like, damn. I do hope this makes it clear that he is the problem, because they really don't love anybody but himself, but I'm sure that's not how it hits. Now feeling like the ubermensch because of the video made of him throwing Pume's ex out, Menzi and Freedom go out to the strip club to be men. You know, they're so big about Menzi. You gotta be a man. And what men do is they go to a seedy, dark place where booty juices are flying, right? The thing is, he's like there, but he's not really locked in because he still likes Lindani so much. And he's really excited that she was saying how much of a man he was when he was throwing out the ex-boyfriend, the cheating ex. But the only problem is, incidentally, serendipitously, he happens to go into one of the VIP rooms and finds Lindani giving head to another man. And that man is his father, Janasi. Yes. Is there no other penis in South Africa? Like, there is no one else to fuck in the world? Admittedly, this is where I was like, turn this shit off. Baby girl is barely legal. That is a child. I'm so tired of this nigga Janasi. He keep doing shit and he keep not getting shot. And I just can't condone this behavior being left unshot. Like, mind you, we're only 13 episodes in. We have 9 more episodes left of this bish. This bish? I was trying to say bullshit and I mushed it together. This bullshit. I don't think my tolerance can take much more. I did tough it out though. And in order to make it worth the struggle, let's continue. We get a flashback to the house party that Janasi and Joyce broke up when they were happy that one time and came back and their kids were having a house party. And now knowing that Janasi and Lindani are sleeping together, it recontextualizes this entire scene and a lot of scenes that we've seen up until this point. There is a split second where Janasi sees her dancing and you don't think anything of it. He's just like, wow, there's people dancing on my tables and shit. But now, this seems to be the moment where he decided his intentions on her. Ugh. Lindani would sleep over the house because she's Pume's best friend. And Janasi would catch her drinking from his liquor cabinet and use that as an opportunity to start predating on her. He's like, I have way better whiskey in my study. And invites her there, being too close, too weird. He does this thing where it looks like he's constantly trying to like consume someone through, like he's trying to snort people, women in particular, and he gets all close and weird, and next thing you know, he's inviting her to dinner, buying her clothes, booking the whole restaurant for them. And she's a child, so she is easily impressed. And before you know it, they sexting, they chatting it up. Pume eventually puts together that her friend is messing with an older man. Of course, doesn't know that it's her daddy, but considering it seems like everybody fucking her daddy, it might as well be. And now that Lindani has had a taste of the rich life, she over here, like, my age appropriate nigga don't make things shake. He don't. I like nice things, fine wine, leaving our hometown, living in a penthouse. My age appropriate nigga dreams, small. Janasi, as usual, is a menace to her as well, filling her up when someone could find them because that's part of his kink, I guess. And this bitch looks scared. Leave her alone. I know his breath hot, but he got money, so she's off to vacation, secret getaways with him, even having Pume help her get to the airport. Fake ass bitch. Like, yeah, Janasi is a predator, but she is still a bad friend. Everybody doing Pume dirty for no reason, jealous ass hoes. So she enjoys the expensive food, ignores her boyfriend's phone calls. He gives her them red beaded panties she eventually tries to give to his daughter, you weird bitch. And she has worn them, had sex with her best friend's father in them and then tries to give them to said best friend. People have gotten tarred and feathered for much less. Lindani and Jonasi have sex. I hated every minute of that. Had to fast forward through that for the sake of this video, but it's long and drawn out. It's a lot of toys. It's a lot of accoutrements. There's like whips and ball gags, and it's like Lindani comes back and her boyfriend is like, what is your fucking deal, man? You've been ignoring me. You've been acting weird and shady. He tries to take her phone, being like, I feel like you're messing around, only for her to slap it out of his hand and break it. We are reminded of some throwaway things Lindani said at the christening. You know, yo, daddy being a piece of work. Right before she threw up. Lindani is pregnant with Jonasi's baby. But she tells her boyfriend, yeah, this is your baby. And he's like, you've been acting so shady. Why would I assume the child is mine? You know the type of person I am. If that child is mine, I will take care of it. I will let everything go. You know the type of person I am. And she's like, who else's kid would it be? And he's like, you full of shit. And Jonasi is like, oh, we'll work things out. I'll get you a nanny. I'll get good schools. I mean, he's been hiding children for years at this point. I'm sure he's fine with it. He's very cool on hiding kids. And then we get to the scene where she brought Jonasi to a club to like give him a night out. And that's where they are caught by Minzy. And Minzy start having a full panic attack, choking in his necktie. Girl, I get it. So the girl that he has a crush on real bad, he just saw sucking his own daddy dick. That's a lot. Now, Lindani has been having a rough go of her first few weeks of her pregnancy. Really bad nausea, pain, and eventually wakes up to find that she has miscarried. Girl, I hate to say this. Should I say this? Fuck it. Girl, count your fucking blessings, bitch. A win is a win. You dodged a bullet. I'm sorry. I know it's very traumatic, and she seemed really upset about it, and I get it. I'm sorry about your trauma, girl. I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry. But, I'm sorry. You dodged a bullet, girl. I get the sense that she was starting to think that the baby could secure her place with Jonasi. But damn, bitch, look at all the other people that had his baby. He don't treat them right either, so I don't know why you thought that secured shit. Anyway, back with the other wives. Jonasi visits Matipa and tries to get from her. And she's like completely mentally checked out. The Essie thing really rocked her. Remember that? That wasn't that many episodes ago, but like he's been so busy. That I forgot already that they just found out about Essie. He's like, girl, get over it. The only sin I've committed is love. Go die, nigga. What the fuck? She's like, I'm not your fucking sex toy. Go jack off if you need it so bad. Lindani has to go to the hospital because of her miscarriage, and she calls Joyce and Pume to help her because she can't get in contact with Jonasi, and they come immediately. And Joyce has often thought of Lindani as another child of her own. Pume and Lindani have been friends since they were 8 years old, so she's like, yeah, that's basically my other daughter. I don't care. I don't need to know the circumstances of the pregnancy. I don't need to know anything. I'll pay for the hospital bill. Minzy at the company is at the point where he's finally had enough of his dad's bullshit, so he's starting to like more obviously act out. He's throwing papers in the office while he's schmoozing with clients. Joyce is starting to notice that his demeanor has changed. He's a lot more withdrawn. He seems angry, and he admits to Joyce that he doesn't want to work at J&J anymore. And I bet you don't, my nigga. The fuck? So Joyce is like, Minzy and Pume should go on a vacation. They're not well. They need a break. And Jonasi is like, need a break from what? And Joyce is like, from you. From you! Shit! Lindani is finally able to get in contact with Jonasi about the baby. And just then, Sarah comes in to talk to Jonasi, and I'm like, girl, you are the least of his interests. I'm so sorry, but please save yourself the frustration. But she's like, you stood me up, you didn't call, you didn't reschedule. And he's like, I must have got the dates wrong. And she was like, okay, so when should we reschedule? And he's like, I'll let you know. He also got rid of the picture of her and Essie on his desk. She's like, what happened to the photo? And he's like, why is everybody asking me all these fucking questions? The world doesn't revolve around you, Sarah. Matipa goes to the gynecologist to get screened for cervical cancer, only to find out that she has gonorrhea. Which to me, I'm surprised ain't nobody got something before this, because he seemed reckless. And they're like, okay, luckily it's gonorrhea, so here's some antibiotics. Your partner needs to also take them as well. And while that's happening, Jonasi is bringing Lindani to recover at his house while Joyce and the kids are going away to their holiday, because that's a perfect way to set up that reveal. And so Pume finds out that Lindani has been released from the hospital, and at the last minute decides she doesn't want to go to the vacation without checking in on her. This is where Menzie finds out that she was pregnant and had a miscarriage, and him, knowing about the affair already, can now reach the conclusion that she miscarried his father's baby. So he starts having another panic attack, which eventually brings them back to the house, which is where Joyce discovers Lindani and Jonasi in the bathtub, him washing her up with candles and shit, overhearing him talk about her healing, having more of his babies, becoming his fourth wife. And I'm like, girl, it's a fucking gauntlet. My head hurts. Jesus. So she's like, so you're sleeping with a child. That is basically my daughter. You're basically sleeping with your own daughter. Then Matipa bursts in saying, oh, is Lindani the hoe that you got gonorrhea from? People, let's be real. You think the culprit that introduced STIs into this clusterfuck is the 18-year-old that slept with two people, or the demonstrative sex pest? Let's use our brains, people. Joyce is trying to kick him out, only for him to end up pushing Pume in the confusion, and Menzie comes in to fight him off. And of course, this turns into, oh, you got balls now? You think you big man? And it turns into a big fight, only for it to be broken up by the police. The police are there because Lindani's mother called because Joyce whooped her ass when she caught them together. Caught Lindani and Jonasi together. Keep up. We got it. We can do this. Now the mom is like, Joyce, you let your husband rape someone that you see as your own daughter? And Jonasi's like, hey, I ain't raped nobody. And Lindani is like, yeah, we're in love. They end up arresting Joyce, and on her ride back, she is reminded of the gonorrhea thing. Yeah, if it ain't one thing, it's the next, huh, bitch? Ooh, girl. Joyce gets checked out. She also has gonorrhea, which, again, not great, but is a lot better than something you can't take antibiotics for. A win is a win. Sarah has the nerve to come over to talk to Pume, and I'm like, nigga, I understand our daddy fucked you up. What does that have to do with you sucking my boyfriend's dick? Like, not a damn thing. Fuck off. No, we will not be friends. She has yet to apologize either, by the way. Sarah doesn't apologize. She's just like, hey, can we talk? And she's like, no. She just says basically it was a cry for help. And I'm like, girl, go cry this dick. Like, I understand you've been through it. And I have empathy for that. I don't get what the fuck that has to do with you sucking my boyfriend's dick because you a jealous bitch. I get it, you figuring out your wrongs. I can still think they wrong too. Girl, fuck you. Anyway, Jonasi comes in trying to run the house again and swing dick, which is confusing. And Joyce is like, oh no, you're sleeping in the guest room. Bitch better than me. The best he'd be is on the porch like a stray, but okay. Especially because he be coming in with fleas like one. But she is like, yeah, there's no going back. I want a divorce. And he's like, the only time I'm leaving is in a casket. And I'm like, bitch, don't give me ideas. Unexpected friendship. Matipa and Joyce meet to commiserate the STD. And they have both reached the sad realization that there is nothing they, or anyone else for that matter, could do to be enough for Jonasi. Again, girl, fuck being enough for Jonasi. Fuck him. Let's kill him. There's so many ways to die. The fact that he hasn't yet is truly a miracle. And as if she heard me, Joyce put some borax in his food. Put it in the rice under the stew. Which is good. And he eat it. He can't taste it. Must be spicy, I guess. The soup. Is the stew spicy? He eat the soup. Menzie and Pume are over it. Pume's like, fuck this. I'm going back to school. I don't want to be in this house. I want to be in college, just away from this. And Menzie starts spending time with the youngest baby. He's like, oh, let me go take care of my little brother who I forgot existed. And then I realized he's only 2 years old. This shit been happening for 2 years? He cheated on you, left out, had twins, had a secret wife, and a secret child reveal in 2 years? Man. But Joyce comes in and is like, wow, it's so nice to be with my sons without Jonasi. Like, we're actually so happy. We can sing, we can dance, we vibe. Wow. Jonasi is struggling downstairs, starts to seize up, foam at the mouth. And the only reason he is seen dying is because they have a maid. And she's like, oh my God, Mr. Gamora, oh no! So though he was dying, it wasn't quick enough. He doesn't die, but he is in a coma for a bit. We still got a few episodes left. The doctors discover that he has been poisoned and they pump his stomach to save his life. And Joyce is like, I know we've been through things, but I never imagined suicide. Girl. Sarah, now over the fantasy of her birth father, is reminded that the only father that she's ever really had her entire life is her uncle that we know now, Gesh. He spends time with her, takes her out to play golf, and he's there to comfort her when she's obviously having a rough time with it. Essie is taking medication as well, finds out that she was tested positive for gonorrhea. And Essie's like, man, maybe I should have actually married Gesh. I mean, yeah, between the two, certainly. Like, sure, he's been complicit in a lot of shit, which is also not great, but comparing, yeah. Unfortunately, Janasi pulls through and awakens from his coma, but when he gets up, he is told he had a heart attack, not that he was poisoned, because Joyce paid off the doctor to lie to him about the poisoning. And lucky that worked, because Matipa starts taking interviews and planning to leave this toxic atmosphere, only to have Janasi use his heart attack, well, he thinks it was a heart attack, to bring her back around. And so she's trying to transfer a big sum of money out of his account so that she can leave this bitch. But she's trying to figure out how to do it without having Janasi notified. Meanwhile, Joyce has him back at home, gives him the gonorrhea medication while he drones on about how it's always been him and her forever. Nigga, fuck you. It's one of those situations where there's no one more oppressed and struggling and wounded than a man with a cold. So imagine if he almost dies. My dad is very, very like, but like the moment he has a cold, he's baby. I'm baby. Can I get soup? Can I get soup? Can someone give me soup? I was like, girl. So imagine if this nigga almost died. So he's in there trying to have demands while also being pitiful. And he's trying to have the same pull that he's had, you know, against Minzy. And Minzy's like, nigga, fuck you. You can't move. You're frail and weak and still trying to tell us what to do. And then Janasi has another situation where he realizes that now, suddenly in this frail and weak state, again, he's in a situation where none of the people he has terrorized will answer him in his time of need. And he seems to learn the immediate reality that being a monster can leave you with very few friends. Ironically. And unfortunately, in his hurt, Minzy seems to be taking on some of his monstrous traits as well. He goes to find Lindani, bemoans to her how he has always seen her as someone he could marry one day. He starts getting all pushy and weird again with her and going on about how he will give her anything, and when she refuses his advances, he calls her a slut and demands to know how much money Janasi is giving her. And I'm like, you're really learning the worst lessons from Daddy Dearest there. Hurt people hurt people. So the moment Janasi gets any energy back, he's back to being the devil. Exactly. He complains and gets belligerent that Joyce left him alone while he was in bed, that she was out gallivanting, doing who knows what while he was at home. She was like, damn, nigga, you wanted me to breastfeed you too? The fuck? Eventually, this fight escalates into her finally saying the obvious truth, which is, he would be nothing without her. She made him. Her father is the reason he has the money and power that he has. And 50% of all of this is hers. She made him. And so mad about this, he goes to Matipa to complain about how she wasn't there when he was sick either. And she's like, I wish you died. I wish you were dead. And because this nigga thinks everything is about his dick, he tries to fuck in the middle of her very real and rational grievances. Matipa, disgusted and flabbergasted, pushes him off, slaps him, to which he does in kind. As far as we, the audience, have seen, this is the first moment we've seen him be physically violent to any of these women. But this seems to be a turning point for Janasi. He is ready to let his ultimate form out. Yes. He does indeed get worse. For those at home, we are only on episode 17. He violently essays Matipa. It's pretty graphic. They don't go into the sexual part as much, but the violence part is quite graphic, so viewer discretion on that. But you can gather that he has assaulted her. And then next we see Joyce has a black eye. So he must have struck her before going over to Matipa's house to assault her as well. Later, we find out that he also sexually assaulted her and physically assaulted her before going over to Matipa and going on the rampage there as well. And he comes back to the house all chipper. Sing song. Joycey, come and have breakfast. I want some companionship. No one loves me around here anymore. He's like, we gotta reunite our love. We gotta have time for each other. And meanwhile, Matipa meets with Gesh, and he sees that Jonasi has gotten to the point that he has put his hands on her. He's also frozen all her financial accounts, having found out that she was trying to take money so that she could leave. And Gesh is able to hand her some money and groceries until things get settled between the two. And she's like, there's no settling. We're not going back to normal again. He tried to kill me. And then she also goes, wow, did I choose the wrong brother? And it's like, I mean, he just said, well, here's some money until y'all make up after he beats you. So, he's again, comparatively, but just like, ugh. And that seems to be a common thought amongst a lot of the people here. I should have been with Gesh, including the most unexpected people who would reach that conclusion. Sarah, who is his blood niece, mind you. She tries to kiss him after he says how proud he is of her as like a father. Sorry, I just sprung that one on you. That's how I felt when it happened. I was like, did this bitch just try to kiss her uncle? And they also don't really mention this a whole lot from here. It's like, whoa, bitch, you need to find somebody to talk to. Like professional. He tells Essie about it and she turns it into calling her a slut. Not someone who obviously has some very disturbing and real issues going on right now. And Gesh is like, it's because of you and your relationship with Jonasi. It's that. It's Jonasi and you and all of this shit that she was forced into since she was born. Granted, I know plenty of people who had rough childhoods who don't try to fuck their own uncles, but yeah. Gesh is like, Essie and Jonasi, you need to have a talk with her. Menzie also seems to be escalating. There was the Lindani thing. He started being real rude and misogynistic to the strippers. He starts escalating at a construction site. He ends up getting in a fight with one of the workers and gets his ass beat. Embarrassing, by the way. Everyone is just going through it. Everyone's just going through it. The only person that's not actively going through it right now is just off camera, Pume, because she said, fuck this, I'm going back to school. Okay, I'm not doing this. Matipa comes to visit Joyce, and again, they have this odd sort of understanding now because they are both beaten, bruised women by this man. She brings the twins over and they commiserate. And I don't know, man, it really gets to a point that shooting this nigga is just a public health initiative. He gotta go. Matipa asks for Joyce to look over the twins for a little bit while she handles some errands. And I was like, oh, she not coming back. Personally, I thought she was gonna end it, but I knew she wasn't coming back for them kids wherever she went. Joyce is finally done. Like actually done this time, not all the other dones that she's been in the past. So she gets Gesh to help her pack some of Jonasi's shit and throw it out, only for Jonasi to come as they were leaving to throw his shit out, and Jonasi and Gesh get into a physical fight, believing that Gesh was just like him, that if he comes within 3 inches of a woman, he must be sleeping with them. But Gesh is able to throw him out, put that nigga in a full Nelson and shoved him out the gate, which was awesome. While all of this is going on, Essie is like, okay, well, Jonasi ain't gonna talk to his own daughter. He's not answering the phone when I'm trying to get his help with her, so I'm gonna take her to a shaman. So she take him to the shaman, thinking that all of this weird behavior that Sarah is doing is due to a curse that is over the family. And the religious, I don't know what they call, I said shaman, I don't know if that's what they actually call it. Like, the guy is like, bitch, ain't no curse. Her father a piece of shit and it's affecting her. She needs an apology from her father. And as we know, she ain't getting that shit. So like, what do we do now? Jonasi, as usual, goes to Essie when no one else will have him, only to find that she got a little boo thing over there. And Jonasi's like, are you cheating on me? And he goes up to like bully this dude the way he does everybody, only to find out little nigga keep that thing on him. Exactly. Violence is often the answer. You see how quiet he was when he left that fucking house? See how he just left? If you feel like you need a bat for protection, skip the step, get a gun. Because guess what that nigga does? Leaves. Exactly. The fuck? We find out that Matipa has indeed left. Not Earth, but she has left. She took money and decided to rebuild her life elsewhere. And she's like, here are the kids, keep them safe, Joyce. Which is crazy. Because I wouldn't be mad at Joyce if she just dropped them little niggas off at an orphanage. I'm sorry. Girl, babysitting. You babysitting. Come to find out there's a letter that said, I'm never coming back for them kids. Hello? She better than me because she keep them. She like, oh, okay. They part of my family. They my kids now. And like, she mad, but she's like, I get it. I get it. The fuck? Like, yeah, I get it. So now that Matipa is gone, Janasi moves into the empty house that she left with Lindani. Yes, they're still dating. Crazy. And Joyce happens to be over the home looking for clothing for the twins when she finds them there, which is crazy because he's the father of said twins. Why isn't... Because he's such a terrible piece of shit, he's not even the first person to take in his own kids. And so when she comes in looking for stuff for said kids, he's like, yeah, thanks for taking in them little niggas that are mine. You're a real one. He's there with his child girlfriend and he's like, yeah, they've done me so wrong. They've done me, Jonasi, so wrong. They'll get what's coming to them. And so he goes on his retaliation tour, firing Gesh. He fires Gesh because he helped kick him out of the house for beating on his wives. But Gesh, having been long complicit in Jonasi's shenanigans, kind of feels like, you know, this is a good thing, actually. There's quite a bit of weight off my shoulders. I was able to stand up to him. He is now out of my way. He's in no way financially hanging over my head. He can finally start a life independent from him and his toxicity. He's also been dating a really sweet girl off screen, little girlfriend, and he said he really in love. So, you know, all things considered, he seems to be making out better than one would guess on the surface. So Lindani goes out to shop or something. She's like, oh, thanks, daddy. You buying me stuff. Thanks, daddy. And while she's out, a random woman comes to the house, claiming to be a friend of Matipa and was looking for her, but hasn't been able to find what house she's supposedly at. Janasi, never having met a vagina he wouldn't have sex with, is so easily seduced when this woman says, hey, can I come in for some water? And yeah, he's very quick to have sex with this obvious honey trap at his door. I was like, somebody trying to give you something. Somebody's trying to give you something. And so when he started getting a very persistent cough 3 months later, I was not surprised. No, not I. So eventually, it must have gotten really bad because he's a man that ended up going to the hospital. Finds out he has pneumonia and HIV. No, he got the HIV. I didn't see that coming. Oh, say it ain't so. But Jonasi refuses to accept or believe that he has HIV. He didn't even take the medication for the gonorrhea, by the way. He was like, fuck this, I don't need this. So certainly he ain't gonna start taking ART to keep things in check and to make sure he doesn't, you know, give it to other people. So fast forward 2 years, we find out he's still living in denial about having HIV to such an extent that he has been rapidly deteriorating. Luckily, Lindani seems to have accepted her fate and has started taking ART. So she's fine. She's healthy. She's taking her medication and she's saying, you need to take yours. Their relationship has obviously started to deteriorate because he's incredibly stubborn. And she's like, you're falling apart and you want me to take care of you when you chose to fall apart. Like, I'm not doing all that. Stop being a bitch. Take your medication. But nope, he's so proud. He's like, no, I don't have HIV. And so it's getting worse. Instead, he's like, I just got, you know, a few little issues. I'm going to take herbal medication. I'm going to go the naturopathic route. He is getting sicker and sicker, and he has subsequently missed a lot of work. He also doesn't want to go out and be seen sick because he doesn't want people to mock him or like see him as weak. But because the company is suffering, he has to go to Gesh with his tail between his legs, asking him to return to the company. Until he gets back on his feet, of course. And Gesh is like, nigga, you fired me. And he's like, okay, do it literally for all of the people I've hurt. Eventually, Gesh accepts he's the new Jonasi. He has Jonasi's position. He also tries to get Sarah and Menzie to help with the company as well. And they don't want to help because it feels like helping their piece of shit dad. But Gesh is like, I get it. But he saved us from poverty. He built generational wealth for us and we should maintain that. And I'm like, they don't need to do or should do shit. Honestly, I think they should sell off his fucking shares and live off the fat of the land. But he like, forgive him and come take over the company. But it seems that they come to work at the company. Essie eventually comes around to take care of him sometimes. Of his wives, or his girlfriend for that matter, she seems to be the only one who comes to see him in his condition. Again, he doesn't even want to leave the house for fear of people seeing him sick and making him a laughingstock. And I'm like, man, if you have a valid fear of people being happy about you getting AIDS and dying, because you ruined so many people's lives. Might be time to look inward, my enemy. But as he's getting worse and fearing death more and more, he even calls Joyce private, hoping to hear her voice and coax her back. But she's over that shit. She's like, what the fuck you call me for? More time passes, and things are really looking up for Joyce. All the more reason to not talk to her ain't shit husband, ex-husband. I don't even know what he is at this point. He's somewhere out there. She releases a book, gets a degree. The twins are now like 3 or 4 years old. Minzy and Gesh are back at the company. Minzy does seem to be taking on, again, some of his father's bad habits. Fucking a receptionist in the bathroom, running up the company cards on girls and parties. Sarah is also there, and oddly, between the two of them, Minzy is the one who's having more trouble moving on from the hurt of his father. Again, Sarah had gotten to the point that she was sucking off her sister's boyfriend and trying to make out with her own uncle, but I guess that was her valley of the shadow of death or something that she has to go through. But she seems to be more well-adjusted now, hopefully got some therapy, perhaps realizing and accepting that Jonasi will never be this idyllic father she always wanted him to be. But Minzy, he's still in the place that Jonasi holds an active space in his head and heart. Like it's consuming him, how much he hates his own father. Anyway, Pume! My girl! She's finally back! I think she's a psychologist now, got a little Bob situation. And they're all there to celebrate Joyce, her graduation. She's releasing a book soon. And they just all seem so much happier without Jonasi. And again, meanwhile, he's slowly dying, coughing in bed. He's still with Lindani in the sense that they're in the same home, but she's like fucking other men in the next room loudly and lying that he's her father and that it's fine if we fuck and he hears it. And again, just making the decision to not take the medicine. Or maybe, I don't even think he can take it at this point. At some point, don't your viral load or something get too low and it doesn't even really work if you try to? I don't know. Sarah tries to apologize to Pume, but she don't want to hear that shit. And again, I can't blame her. And Sarah, key issue with Sarah is that even in her moments of growth, she struggles to realize that yes, you were going through it. And in the process, you did things that other people don't have to forgive. And so the moment she doesn't get I accept your apology, she's like, you're so high and mighty. Have you ever considered how hard my life has been for the last 18 years? And I'm like, girl, that's fine. I hear you. You still sucked off my boyfriend. I don't have to be besties with you, regardless of why you did it. Eat my ass. But Sarah is still a jealous bitch. Is quick to be like, see, that's your fucking problem. You're cruel and you're selfish. Girl, fuck you, weak ass apology. You want to be like, we are sisters though. When you actually apologize and you actually give a fuck, talk to me. The hell. Jonasi is declining. Still. And this is around the time when I realized, like, oh, they're really gonna kill him off with AIDS. And I have mixed feelings about that because sure, I was rooting for a shot in the face. Just a real quick, you know, that would have been real quick release. Maybe not even satisfying. But instead they're doing this long drawn out, debasing, crawling on the floor, begging for Lindani's help, shitting himself, which is fun. I don't know. He does shit himself, by the way. I wasn't making that up. He's like crawling on the floor, begging for Lindani's help. He shits himself. He's wailing in the shower as she yells at him about how she told him to take his fucking medication. But with that said, it does not stop Lindani from bringing him in his wheelchair to ruin the vibe of Joyce's celebration party for graduation and coming out with a memoir. She just leaves that nigga there like, here, take care of your husband. I'm tired of this nigga. Goodbye. Which is crazy. You wanted him so damn bad. You got him. This nigga you wanted so damn bad. Gesh takes him out, even though in the wheelchair, he's still talking about it. This is all mine. Oh, like, oh, to your dying breath. But there's nowhere for him to go because Lindani's kicked him out of the house. So they just leave him on the first floor of Joyce's house in the wheelchair, just sitting there. Nobody gave a fuck about him. Joyce eventually tells him to shut the fuck up and like tosses him out of his chair, his entitled ass, on the floor and left him wailing and coughing. But he is now forced to stay, again, at Joyce's home. Essie, the only wife that still has some desire to be involved with him, comes to the house wanting to deliver soup. But Joyce hates Essie. So why would she let Essie see Jonasi? Also, she hates Jonasi, so fuck that nigga feeling comfort. Mind you, he's still being an asshole while sick and dying in that chair and relying on everybody else to take care of him. Fuck what he want. With that said, Pume is like, you know, I know you're mad at Essie, but she isn't the main issue here. It's Jonasi. And besides, he is still her husband. And like, he's dying. And Joyce is like, well, what happened to all this like boundaries and yada, yada, yada? That's what I'm doing. And Pume is like, I don't want to live in the past. Like, I'm moving on. Even if he doesn't apologize, even if he doesn't even offer that up, I'm like, which he doesn't, by the way. She just accepts that this is who he is and she wants to break the cycle. She accepts that her parents fucked her up because their parents fucked them up and so on and so forth, and she doesn't want to participate in that anymore. So she wants to be free of the resentment that is just festering between every person that he's affected. Menzie also seems to be open to taking care of Jonasi all of a sudden, which again, he was just very upset at him, so it's a bit abrupt, but he's there chatting with his dad. Jonasi's like on his deathbed, basically saying that the biggest mistake that he made was marrying 3 women. The biggest mistake you made was being a lying, abusive sex pest. Not because you're non-monogamous, you fuck. Like, Jesus. But Menzie seems to start having, again, these rose-colored glasses. This rose-colored view of Jonasi's abuse, basically thinking that he was just trying to make a man out of him. And I'm like, oh, I think Menzie's learning the wrong lessons here. They give Jonasi a little birthday party, considering this is most likely his last one. And then he goes to bed, clearly dying, and asks for Joyce to lie beside him. He asks that she forgive him, lie with him. He is scared. And so she says, let's just lay here. We don't have much time left. By the morning, Jonasi is dead. We did it, Joe. And Joyce wails. Now, Jonasi is dead, but we still have 1 episode left because the drama isn't over. Even in death, Jonasi brings strife. Because we see Essie is the one to clean his dead body and pick it up from the mortuary. Is this customary to bathe your loved one's body? That's both touching and scary for me. I don't think I could do that. Granted, having an open casket is weird to some countries, I'd imagine. So, hey, we all have our funeral traditions. Anyway, but Essie is the one to pick up the corpse. Meanwhile, Menzie seems to be quite in a chipper mood. Again, his emotions are giving me whiplash. He was just so close to his father. Now he's like, fuck that nigga, he dead. Ah. But, you know, we chalk it up to Menzie just, you know, having a very complicated relationship with his father. And, you know, we've reached a consensus. We've reached an end and an impasse. There you go. Joyce goes to the funeral home to give over Jonasi's suit, only to find out that the body's already been picked up by another person, another one of his wives, Essie, who took the body and is now doing her own funeral without Joyce or anybody else in his family. She says, Essie, that considering you kept him away from me during his final days, I am keeping his corpse away you now. And so, which is crazy. Stealing a nigga's body is insane. So they go all the way over to the hood, essentially, which is where he grew up in, and they were in the middle of putting his body in the ground. And Joyce goes with the police saying, dig his ass back up! Dig his ass back up right now! Like, damn, he making us fight over this nigga in death too? Joyce gets mad classist. She's like, I don't want to smell your poor, low-life ass anywhere near the funeral, by the way. I haven't had a chance to talk about this a whole lot because there's so much else going around here. But Essie, though a mess, is treated like shit. Because she's poor, and I think also because she's heavier, they just treat her ass like scum. So I get it. I get why y'all mad. I get why you and Sarah and Freedom, y'all been treated like leftovers, an afterthought, a secret. Trash. But stealing the body is also insane. I don't understand why we all don't get along because, again, we've all been treated like trash by this nigga. We all have something very much in common. Menzie also goes to Sarah and lies to her that Jonasi said he said to take care of her on his deathbed and that he was thinking of her when he died. I could have missed it, but I don't think that nigga said that. I think it was just to make her feel better that her father loved her when he didn't. Sorry. We return to the beginning of the show. Remember the first scene of the show when everybody came in? Joyce came in her white thing, red lip. We see Matipa shows up at the funeral. They ain't seen her in a few years. And she tries to go up to the twins And she's like, hey, I'm mommy. And they're like, bitch, who are you? I don't know you. And she has this kind of like, aw, face, but like, they don't know you, bitch. Joyce goes up to the casket, does the whole it could have been different. Lindani also comes to the funeral, weirdly enough. I would have thought she'd be out of this. You know, he did now. He can't give you no more money. But she ends up having a whole panic attack and is carried out. I'm like, don't bury my man. Don't bury my man. Girl. Matipa comes in with some new fine ass nigga. She got a new nigga. He cute. And Joyce is like, come sit next to me. You are the second wife as far as I'm concerned. Then in comes Essie and Sarah and they take some shares and they sit right up front next to the other wives. Honestly, as they should. Like, come on now. We've been hid away this whole time. We're not doing it again. We are also just as legitimately part of this family. Eventually, Minzy runs out. He don't want to hear all these like kind of nice things about his daddy. He ends up running into Lindani and suddenly she's real composed and wanting to comfort Minzy. Ultimately, the person, as always, who is closing the cycles here is Pume, because she goes up to give a bit of a eulogy and asks all his children, including Sarah, to come forward to do it. She includes Essie in the mentions of the goodness his wives brought to him. And while she's talking, we are sucked into the last night of his life, where Joyce admits to him that the reason he is dying is because of a very convoluted and well-laid plan of hers. The woman that came by asking for water, Joyce sent her over. She paid her. She's actually the woman she had met in jail that night where she was trying to set their house on fire. She is the woman who keyed her boyfriend's car for giving her HIV. See, I knew that woman was there to give him something, but I completely forgot that she was the woman that she met fleetingly, like 17 episodes ago. 20 episodes ago. So much happened. She had a completely different wig on. I completely forgot who that was. But anyway, yeah, that was her. And Joyce went up to her, paid her, and said, go over and fuck my husband and give him HIV. Knowing how proud and shitty he was, he wouldn't do anything about it and he would slowly die. In that time period, she told Minzy to play nice so that eventually he would make sure that Minzy was the main heir of his estate when he dies. She then left him dying, saying that Minzy will never be like his father and how grateful she was for that. Only for the show to end with Minzy clapping Lindani's cheeks in the bathroom of the funeral. Maybe he is more like his father than we would like to believe. And that is The Polygamist. So much happened, I'm so tired! So, how did you guys like the show? I really liked it. Don't want to watch it again. So much happened, my head hurts, my ass hurts, my butt hurts, everything hurts, I'm tired. Oh, and it was rough getting through the Lindani arc. But that is it. I believe this is the entire show. I don't think there'll be a season 2. I don't even know what they would talk about in season 2. But yeah, I've been talking for so long. So if you like this video, feel free to like this video. Follow my social media, Instagram, Bluesky, both of which are KennieJD. Follow Ole and Kenny on my podcast with my friend Ole and me. We haven't uploaded yet in a bit because my internet was out because I live in a new construction area and so they just clipped my shit and didn't tell me. So I was internetless for days. So obviously finally got it back. I also want to get back to streaming more on Twitch because I have a lot of fun. I've been playing a lot of 007 by myself. Well, not a lot. I'm getting back into it. I also have a VOD channel of my Twitchers, my Twitch, I'm so cool, of my Twitch streams, and I have a video of 1 or 2 of the 007 videos that I did. So check it out there, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.